Another session of Ms. Whitaker's Words of Wisdom, adding and subtracting fractions. If I have the fraction 2/3, the top number is called the numerator. The bottom number is called the denominator. This is very important. Before you can add or subtract fractions, you must get a common denominator. A common denominator. The bottom number must be the same. Let's do a few. If I have 2/5 plus 1/5, they have the same denominator. I'm going to write the denominator down, and then I'm going to add my numerators, my top numbers. 3/5. I look and see, will that reduce? Is there something that will go into 3 that will also go into 5? The only number is 1, and that won't change how he looks. So 3/5 is my answer. If I have 2/5 plus 1/3, okay, I have different denominators. I have to decide what will 3 and 5 both go into. Now, one way to do this is come over to the side, and I have 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to count by 5s, do multiples of 5. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whoop, here we go. They both have 15. So I'm going to put 15 over here. This is also, if you haven't watched making equivalent fractions, you need to go back to that, because that's what we're doing. We're making our equivalent fraction. We're putting a little bit of makeup on our fractions, not changing his value, just changing how he looks. 5 times what gives me 15? 3. So I multiply by the 1-ster, 3 over 3. Something that equals 1, so I don't change his value. Again, 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 5 gives me 15. So I'm going to multiply by 5 over 5. 1 times 5 gives me 5. The same value as 2/5, just looks different. The same value as 1/3, just looks different. They now both have a common denominator. I write that down. And then I'm going to add my numerators for my top numbers, and that will not reduce. Okay, let's try another. If I have 2/3 plus 4/5. 2/3 plus 4/5. Okay, it's just like the last one. I'm still going to use 15 because I have 3 and 5. I know I'm going to multiply by 5 over 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to multiply by 3 over 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. I have a common denominator. I write that down. I'm going to add my numerators. 10 plus 12 gives me 22. Uh-oh, improper fraction. Big number on top of the little number. Now, I'm going to have to do tie-bow. Top in, bottom out. If you haven't watched the video of mixed number to improper and improper to mixed, you need to watch that if you don't understand how to do this. This is an improper fraction, and I'm going to make it into a mixed number. How many times will 15 go into 22? 1 time. 1 times 15 is 15. I'm going to subtract. I have 7 left. So when I reduce 22 over 15, I have 1 and 7/15. Okay, let's try some subtraction. Still on subtraction, you have to get a common denominator. So if I have 2/3 minus 1/3, starting off with a common denominator, all I have to do is write it down. Subtract my numerators, it gives me 1. Tell the kids you might want to come over here and remind yourself you're subtracting so that you don't try to add. Let's do another subtraction. If I have 3/5 minus 1/2. Okay, I need a common denominator. I want to know what 2 and 5 will both go into. I'm going to use 10. 5 times 2 gives me 10, so I'll multiply by the onester, 2 over 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 5 gives me 10, so I'll multiply by the onester, 5 over 5. 2 times 5 is 10, 1 times 5 is 5. I'm subtracting, so I write down my denominator, and then I subtract my numerators, 1/10. And that is how to add and subtract fractions. Hope that helps.